Hello, this is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm your unfriendly neighborhood downtown Andy.
Well, welcome anyway. We're here to talk, bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discord world. Andy is on fire right now. He's experiencing capsaicin.
Let's give him the back. So
yeah.
We skipped last week's episode because we were
we did
enjoying our anniversary
vacation.
But I don't have shingles, but now I have, what is it called again?
Well, you have the result of shingles. The virus has probably subsided, but you have post-herpetic neuralgia.
Yeah, and for those who are unaware, you've had it.
It's excruciating.
Yeah,
it feels like
the nerve pain that comes along with it.
Your body can experience numbness and hypersensation and just nerves firing off in the wrong way. You gonna be able to do this?
You guys are getting my suffering in real time right here.
You're in the weirdest bulldog stance I've ever seen you in. Your neck is vanishing.
Just give them the rules while I take deep breaths.
Well, the rules are as follows for the sake of civility. 3 rules, to be precise. No judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick. Remember, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Try to compose myself as best I can.
Well, just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
That's all right.
No, I'm just saying I'm for the sake of the podcast,
You got this. You're a strong person.
It's funny, I feel like you put way more on my back than I put on my side.
I didn't put it on, I was massaging it in.
Yeah, but my side, oh Lord, my side is what's really fucking on fire right now.
Yeah?
Whew. Oh, man.
Well, anyway, we took a week off. We had a vacation and an anniversary and essentially a honeymoon.
Got matching tattoos.
We did. We got to-dos.
Yeah, had a second wedding.
We had a second wedding. We had our honeymoon.
Cake and pie and wine and friends over.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Went to the lake.
It was a very good time.
Played D&D inadvertently.
We went to a ghost town, essentially. Whole town shuts down for the fall.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I had a good time. I was kind of glad, honestly, that a lot of it was shut down because we actually got to just sort of chill.
Yep. No crowds, no parking situations.
Nah.
Some decent food.
Some very decent food.
Some decent company.
Oh.
I meant the people that we encountered together.
The strangers that we met, yes. But it was good. Yeah. It was good. And we'll do it again. God damn it.
Mm-hmm. That was the plan for our honeymoon. But, the funny thing is that illness just seems to keep striking this house and prohibiting, all of our plans.
Yeah.
COVID ruined our weekend in August, and shingles is, I wouldn't say ruined.
It didn't ruin anything.
It definitely hindered our anniversary week.
All it did was make you go, ah!
A lot.
All the time.
Well, they're hearing that now.
But you're gonna make it.
So for those who don't know, I took a week's worth of antivirals to get rid of the virus, and then they switched me to a week's worth of gabapentin, which is supposed to be for the nerve pain, which did absolutely nothing. I've been spraying myself down with lidocaine the whole week, which kind of helped, but whatever. That and acetaminophen and sleeping pills, and sleeping is still a challenge. So now the doc recommended a prescription, which I can't remember the name of, and capsaicin, and...
But it's not gabapentin.
It's not gabapentin. It's something else that, he wants me to call within 2 days, let him know how I'm doing.
Okay.
What led me to what I wanted the theme of this episode to be, and that is integrity.
Yeah, much different, a far cry from what I was hoping it would be.
What were you hoping it would be?
I was going to go with something more pleasant.
We can, we skipped last week. We can make this an extra long where we get pleasant towards the tail end.
We're going to give you a double dose.
We'll give it to you.
Yeah, going to give it to you. Like X.
I'm in so much pain right now.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway.
Integrity.
I went to the pharmacy just now to get my new prescription, but I couldn't get there. I couldn't get to it because I walk in at 23 after 7.
Yeah.
And listen, I worked for CVS back in the day. Yes, I'm naming you by name. Fuck CVS. This is not the first, second, third, or even fourth time I've had a problem with this pharmacy. I walk in, the hours are supposed to be 8 to 8, especially during the week. Okay? There is a paper sign on the door that says new pharmacy hours 8 to 8.
Like handwritten?
No, printed from their computer.
Yeah.
And new pharmacy hours. Okay, so I guess this time of year they're supposed to be open 8 to 8. This is 7:23, and the pharmacy is dark and the gate is locked.
Which is bullshit.
And even one of their front-end employees concurred that this is ridiculous. I said, when I worked for CVS Pharmacy, not the front end, the pharmacy, in 2006, if we pulled any crap like this, we would have been written up, we would have been reprimanded, some corporate would have gotten called, we would have got a district manager visit, like something, anything. But this is, again, not the first, not the second, several times over that either they've closed before they were supposed to, their drive-through hasn't been open, or they've been short-staffed, or my prescriptions have not been ready within a reasonable amount of time. Like, I go several hours after leaving the doctor's office.
Yes.
And they still haven't even gotten it yet.
Now, I work in a similar industry.
Yep.
I work in a similar setting. I work with licensed pharmacists, and we... When an order is placed, which is essentially a prescription, we give people a window. We say, please allow us essentially like 2 hours to fill your order. It's bullshit because when an order comes in, typically speaking, at any point during the day, once our overnight orders have been fulfilled, which depending upon, how busy it was, can take a couple of hours in the morning with a couple of pharmacists doing it. And when orders come in, typically speaking, especially during the week, the ticket is immediately pulled and the order is filled within, I would say, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Now, we still get people who place an order, a pre-order, for their prescriptions, and they just show up. And at that point, we expedite it, and... I mean, we have people place their orders on their phones in the parking lot and then walk right in.
That wasn't a thing back in my day.
And that's kind of, it's crappy because all they're doing is, skipping the line essentially, but we'll still fill it and we will fill orders within minutes. And it's not a big deal. But, I've experienced, getting those pharmacy texts that say your prescription will be filled, your prescription is ready, and I go and they never even received my prescription. It's like, then why the hell was I told my prescription is ready? That's bullshit.
I don't want this to be a bitch sesh, and I certainly don't want to spend an entire podcast bad-mouthing CVS, but I am going to get this off my chest.
I work with plenty of people who badmouth CVS all day.
And I sincerely hope Rob listens to this at some point because he's still working for the company. Yeah. And we've heard all the... the
only person I know who complains that much about it but still works there.
He's been there too long to leave now.
Yeah.
Too long. Yeah. He was there before me. I started in 2006. I left in 2008. He was there before me. And he got me my job. Thank you, Rob. And working with him was so much fun. Well, he's pretty much the only reason... You can always
go back.
No. He is pretty much the only reason I stuck around as long as I did.
She's sleeping on my foot, by the way.
Her eyes are wide open.
Oh, well, she's using my foot as a pillow.
But here's the thing.
What's the thing?
We never closed early.
No, you can't do that.
If somebody came in and wanted to wait, 15-minute maximum... And it usually took 3 or 4 minutes because we weren't going to make them wait. Mm-hmm. We were going to get theirs out and then just get back to the list.
Yes.
Okay? My pharmacists that I worked for stayed on... all of them stayed on top of this all the time. We would do 500 to 700 scripts a day and we would leave nothing for the next day. The only things that we would leave were the ones that came in the computer in the 5 minutes that we were locking up. But that was it.
Same.
I can't even remember. It's been at least 4 to 6 prescriptions in the last couple of months that I've gone there after leaving hours after leaving an appointment.
Yeah.
And they haven't even, they tell me they haven't received them.
Yeah.
I go, I left the doctor's office 4 hours ago. How is it not even in your system yet?
Yeah.
Let alone not even in line to be filled.
Now, I wonder sometimes about that, because I wonder where the breakdown is. Now, you've worked in this environment, so when a doctor's office calls in a prescription, does it go into like a voicemail queue, or
okay,
where does it go?
I'm gonna break it down for you because of the fact
me.
that just from walking in there and looking what's behind the counter, they are still using the computer systems, at least in our local one, that they were using in Newtown 18 years ago.
So when a doctor calls in a script, where does it go?
It either goes to the pharmacist, answers the phone and takes it over the phone and writes it on a sheet, on a script pad.
Yes.
It either goes into their voicemail if nobody answers the phone, and the pharmacist has to check it periodically, or it gets filed in a computer SKU.
So I have a feeling that all of these prescriptions,
Yeah.
all of these prescriptions being phoned in, those voicemails are just sitting in these inboxes.
No. So if ever we had 2 pharmacists on hand, and we did a lot because of how much volume we did. I don't know what their volume is. I've never asked, but I mean, if it's more than 7, staff the place better. Okay? And I'm going to get to that in a minute because I know people are going to say, oh, that's not as easy as it sounds. Because we had 2 pharmacists on hand, one would be verifying scripts, the other would be checking the voicemails, doing consultations, this, that, and the other thing. A lot of times, especially on the weekends, we would only have one. The shifts overlap because, not everyone's going to work a 10 or 12-hour shift.
Right.
But when it comes to the... I've said this to you a whole bunch of times, and it's the fact that everybody behind the counter now is not the same group of people that was there last year. I don't know how you replace an entire staff in the course of a year. Maybe it happened over time and I just didn't pay as much attention, but I literally recognize nobody. No pharmacist, no tech, no nothing. Every single person behind that counter, it was not there.
Well, I mean,
previously.
Judging from what I am being told, the turnover at this point is just these people do not want to work for this company.
It's not even just that. The general sentiment amongst people in general is that just people don't want to work. You and I complain about that all the time. That's why I want to bring up integrity, because of the fact that you and I complain to each other left and right about the things that go on in our workplaces, the lack of effort put in by certain coworkers, the cutting of corners and things of that sort.
I don't even know if my problem is as much a lack of integrity as much as it is a sense of entitlement.
I am furious about this topic. I am legitimately furious.
Oh, I know.
I'm never going to be able to replicate the speech I gave when I walked through the door. Okay? But it is infuriating to me. Remove the pharmacy aspect of it out of the equation. It is the fact that it has become more noticeable to me in recent years that people just don't care as much about putting in the effort. Not even just at their jobs, but in general. I can't wrap my head, or I can't accept it. I absolutely cannot accept it, because just this past weekend, we went and we got food at Burger King's drive-thru, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, I know people are going to say, well, just don't go to Burger King then, okay? It's not good for you anyway. That's not the point. That is not the point. It does not excuse the fact.
Please stop slamming.
I am angry.
I know you're angry.
Let me express it.
Well, then slam on your knee.
Fine. It does not excuse the fact that these people are preparing food that we eat. Yeah. And that they can never seem to get your order right.
No, I have a curse on me.
I have complained numerous times and been met with, oh, here's a $10 coupon, here's a next free meal. Like, that's going to cut it by the 4th, 5th, 6th time that they get it wrong. And my argument to their corporate is, what happens when this negligence triggers a food allergy?
I've always wondered that. I mean, when I ask for any, quick service, fast food, a sit-down restaurant, whatever, but when I say, like, please, none of this on my food, please.
You clearly heard me say.
Yes. No, I heard you say, but when I ask, for things to be removed from my meal or not included in my meal, it doesn't matter what my reasoning is. It could be, I think it's disgusting, but every time a customer at a food place asks for something to be removed from the meal, you should treat it as if that is an allergy. Because it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, well, they can just take it off. It's like, no. Like, what if someone is wildly allergic? Like, for example, I ask for everything without tomatoes on it. Mm-hmm. Mostly because I do not like eating whole tomatoes. But like, my mother is severely allergic to tomatoes. Mm-hmm. So if she takes a bite out of something after saying no tomatoes, please, and then finds a tomato in there,
she's gonna get shingles.
She's fucked. Oh. She's fucked. So it's like, I don't know if it's people's negligence. I don't know if it's people who don't care or if people truly are not doing the job well enough because no one taught them to care more. Like, that worries me sometimes. It's not that I think necessarily that everyone out there doesn't care enough to do more than a half-assed job. I wonder sometimes if people who train these people, the people on top of these people, are not telling them to be more careful. At my job, we do everything but use an actual hammer to drill into these people. You need to fucking read. We have tried to tell people on countless occasions. We've had meetings, closed-door meetings, trying to figure out what is the problem and how do we nip it in the bud. And honestly, the only solution we can come up with is fucking read.
And that's a conversation that you and I have had on many occasions.
Yes.
Because of, I mean, this should just be given. Like, if you work in any profession, I would think you need to have some literacy. I would think you need to exercise some level of proficiency in literacy, especially when dealing with the public.
Well, any service. Providing any service whatsoever, I don't understand why accuracy in your job performance is, I mean, if people skim in your job, the mail goes to the wrong house or it goes to the wrong street.
And we have people working for us that don't seem to care that we're delivering bills, paychecks, court documents, things of utmost importance to the people expecting and sending them, but obviously not to the people charged with their delivery.
Now, to that end, and just using the post office as an example, okay, do I believe, as a customer of that service, do I believe that it is, in fact, life or death if a piece of my mail, even a serious piece of my mail, even a bill, let's say, is it life or death if that bill is misdelivered? No. But is it frustrating? Of course it is. Do I then have to have faith that the situation will be rectified? For example, if my mail goes into somebody else's mailbox, my hope is that the person who then received it will leave it in the mailbox for the mail carrier to then see that it was delivered to the wrong address and take it back and then deliver it to the correct one. I have to have faith that that's going to happen. And the reason why I have to have faith as a customer of said service, I have to have that faith. Otherwise, I will always be as pissed off as you.
Now, what happens if you have to have a restraining order filed against someone? And you are having faith that that restraining order will be brought to said person to be signed, or rather, no, that upon delivery of said restraining order, that its return receipt will be returned to you.
That is a different animal. That's a horse of a different color
But
right
see,
there.
that's
Because
just
the
it.
idea, the very idea, and I'm not going to try, I'm trying not to get mad also, but the very idea that any postal carrier will fake a signature on a registered letter or certified mail and everything just so that they don't have to walk up to the goddamn door.
Happens every day.
And fuck that. That is when I get angry. And it takes a bit for me to get angry. I don't just get pissed off at the drop of a hat. I'm very, not laid back, but I'm very understanding when it comes to things. And I don't think everything is a big deal. But, you know, even in that particular situation, my solace would be it's filed with the court, regardless of whether or not it was delivered properly, it still exists. It still exists.
Now, these are just the two most recent examples that we're citing.
Yeah.
Okay? You and many of my friends know my long-standing feud with one of the game store owners here in town. Mm-hmm. I have been familiar with this guy since what, 2016, I think?
Okay.
When he owned his previous store in Danbury. And my biggest gripe with him is negligence. Negligence, lack of integrity, the fact that I'll never forget that when his last store was going out of business in its final weeks, first of all, he was training new hires on the register, which baffled me. Oh, yeah. And said new hires overcharged me in the final weeks when everything was supposed to be 20 to 50% off. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I didn't get 20 to 50% off. I paid 112% of the original price. Now, it wasn't a lot of money, and I'm like, well, he's going out of business anyway, so what do I care?
Yeah.
But then
he came back.
And my biggest gripe was the fact that in his absence, I went and I took it upon myself to gain a following at another local store here in town. Uh-huh. And we had this was right at the beginning of COVID, so, it was hit or miss. There were a couple of months where we couldn't do anything at all, and then the masks came in and everything, and it was all well and good.
Right.
But this guy's store went out in, January? We started up at the new store in February. He opens his second store in November, and everyone jumps ship and goes right back to him because it's him. And he'd built up a rapport. Okay. No arguments there. Can't have an issue with that. But then the shitty business practices came back in. Mm. Overcharging, being negligent, being rude, just being a very unpleasant person to new and returning customers.
Poor customer service.
He admitted to me at one point, he's just like, remember that time that we ran into each other outside of the store before I bought it? I was kind of short with you because it seemed like you were trying to sabotage me. I'm like, trying to sabotage you? He's like, yeah, it seemed like you were going to try and get this space out from under me. I go, I never wanted your first store to shut in the first place. I wanted a place to go. It was in my interest for you to stay in business.
Yeah.
And so I then once, and this is the famous story I keep telling everyone, took it upon myself when his new store was on my route. His employees never opened the place on time, ever.
Right.
I had a $1,000 item, apparently, okay, that had to be signed for. I knew where he lived, brought it to his house. He wasn't awake, so his girlfriend answered the door.
But you got a signature for it.
Oh, yeah, she signed for it.
Okay.
I'm like, I'd rather, not let this get lost at the office or whatever. I want it to go directly to Steve. Mm-hmm. Would you, give this to him when he wakes up? The following Monday, I go into the store, and he very loudly berated me in front of his entire staff for trying to do him a favor. He said, and I quote, "My kids," who were teenagers, by the way, "could have got a hold of this and thrown it in the fireplace. This could have been my divorce papers or something." Like,
that
whatever.
quite literally tells me that he is a terrible parent. My kids could have gotten a hold of this and thrown... I'm sorry. When was the last time a package was delivered for me and you got it and, like, tossed it in the dumpster?
Well, if you haven't noticed now.
Do you toss much of my mail in the garbage?
No.
Yeah, mostly because you're not a douchebag.
But he certainly is.
Like, if my kids were doing that, they'd catch a fucking beating.
He used to regularly give me an attitude just for asking if the display case had been restocked. Like, are you going to be putting new stuff in anytime soon or whatever? You know, and he would always give me an attitude about it. So I bit my tongue and I stewed on all of this for a long time until one day I woke up and I said, I don't deserve this shit. I've spent literally thousands of dollars with this guy on product that I've kept and, you know, sometimes resold and whatever. But, you know, like, I've tried to support the small business instead of going to Walmart, instead of buying online. I didn't want his first store to go out of business. I don't want his second store to go out of business. But a person can only take so much between and that one instance I mentioned in January of 2020 wasn't the first time and certainly not the last time he overcharged me.
I don't doubt it.
So I said, you know what? I'm done. And I took it upon myself to leave his store a bad review. He starts messaging me, where is this coming from? I was just telling my girlfriend the other day what a sweetheart you were, blah, blah, blah. You spent this, that, and the other thing. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, really? You didn't see this coming? You didn't see this coming? He told me I spent X amount of dollars. I go, no, I spent this much, and I have the receipts to prove. Well, our cash register only shows this. And I'm just like, you know what? F off. I don't want to support your business. I don't even want to talk to you anymore. And I haven't spoken to him since. He has since told my assistants that he hopes I get fired. Thinks that we have some sort of, like, grudge against him and his family and his... I'm like, listen, all you have to do is be the bigger man and apologize. And don't engage in shitty business practices anymore. But until that day comes, you will get none of my business.
I personally... I have a hard time with people who bitch and moan about customer service in particular, but continue to frequent said business. Mm-hmm. I have a big problem with that. So when you...
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Okay.
Please? You had told me that back then when I was still bitching about him and still going to the store. And you had said...
And what did I say?
What did you say?
I said, stop going.
And
fucking finally...
I did.
And look, it's one less thing to complain about. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm much happier now.
Now, while we were on vacation, we went to the game stores up there. Mm-hmm. Yep. We went to one. They said, hey, you should go to our other location. So we went there.
Oh, don't tell this story.
I'm going to tell this story. Because I think it means something. I think it shows the silver lining. Okay? We went to the game store. We went to look at the cards, and we're looking around, and we're talking to people and everything. You bought me a couple of cards, a couple of triple cards, a couple anniversary triple cards. Mm-hmm. And one of those cards, they tried to say cost, what, $4 and change or something? Mm-hmm. And you looked it up, and you said, hang on one second, can I... just ask you about this one, and you looked it up, and you saw that going in the condition that it was in,
it was worth less.
It was worth less money. Mm-hmm. Now, this man now said, oh, I'm sorry. Now, whether he thought maybe you won't notice or not, regardless of that, his customer service reaction, from a customer service standpoint, was... I'm sorry, and immediately lowered the price on it.
He did. Yeah,
he
you're
did.
right.
When we got in the car, do you remember your reaction?
I was mad.
You were furious. You said, that motherfucker. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This man not only gave it to us for the lower price, but he apologized.
You know, they're never going to invite us back if they listen to this.
Like, come on.
In my defense, I have been treated very poorly by people in this industry.
And I don't doubt that, but I do believe that it is important to remember that not everyone is trying to get you.
It's really hard to keep that in mind when you've had to deal with so much bad customer service. And because you told that story, I'm going to tell the story about the other store, the one that I brought the crowd to. Because a couple of months back, and this is a place that I have never had issues with. I grew up and went to high school, and all school, really, with the family.
Okay.
And so again, I mean, there was no store loyalty for me. I wanted to support the small businesses.
Yeah.
I would much prefer to support, friends from home than go online and go to big box stores and things like that.
Sure.
But I went in a couple of months ago, and there was a card there that had been sitting there for literally years. Nobody wanted it because it was too high priced for the condition it was in. But I said, I'd like to have that.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to take out the cash at the time. But I had a lot of product I wasn't doing anything with. Mm-hmm. So I took the effort and priced it all out myself. Right. I went online. I found these are all mint brand new cards.
Right.
So there's no question about condition. And as far as prices go, when you go look them up, you have highest to lowest and everything. I priced them all out at the lowest verified price. So he can't go any lower than that.
Right.
And I made sure that it totaled out to exactly what he was asking. I think I even gave him some just to, make it more enticing for him. And these were all desirable cards. These are all competitive staples that these are going to move.
Right.
They're not going to sit there like the one I'm trying to get has been sitting there for.
Right.
He takes one glance at what I'm handing him and glances back at his computer, glances back at the cards, and then looks up at me and he goes, I don't want to price out all this stuff. I go, you're the owner.
Yeah.
You do this for a living every single day.
Yeah.
Now, it's not like I was handing him 500 or 1,000 cards. I was handing him maybe 30.
Okay.
Cards ranging anywhere from $5 to $100. And he couldn't be bothered. Couldn't be bothered.
I mean, that worries me a little bit because it's like, dude, this is your business.
Now, do you know how many of those cards I have left?
How many?
0. I sold them all. I have not been back to the store since.
It's so fucking bizarre to me. That's like if someone came up to me like at the show next weekend, right? And they saw the work that I made and I'm selling these things for X amount of dollars. And they said, I want to pay you to do this for me. And I say, well, this is how much it is. And it's like, no. I want you to do it this way. I'm going to pay you this much. I'm going to pay you more because I'm asking you to do something very specific for me. And I just went, God, I don't want to do that.
Now, that's not
how it works.
It's not in my interest to screw him over. I want him to stay in business. I want a place to go, to congregate with like-minded people.
Right.
I handed him 30 easy sales along with the list. He didn't have to do any work. All he had to do was put them on display. That's it. You stick them in a box. That's it. People sift through them. They say, I want this. They pay the man. 30 easy sales versus one difficult one, which is, by the way, I'm pretty sure is still sitting there. All these years later, because no one's going to pay that price. No one is going to pay it. If they haven't done it by now, you're going to have to find P.T. Barnum's best sucker. And that instance didn't piss me off as much as the first, but it made me lose a little bit of faith in humanity.
In humanity?
In humanity.
In humanity overall?
Overall. Because he knows me, okay? Everybody, I made it very clear to everybody that I came across in my, hobbies and my travels. I just want to be able to do this. I want to be able to enjoy the things I enjoy with other people who enjoy them, and that we have a place to go that we can all enjoy them. Now, take the specifics of it out of the equation, there's nothing wrong with that. That is a genuine sentiment coming from me. But unfortunately, it doesn't mean nearly as much to other people as it does to me.
Yeah.
And that's what really hurts. Well. Because I want the best possible outcome for the most people. Like, I did I need this card? No. Did I need it? I still don't need it. It's not like I went out and got another one.
Right.
But, rather than take out the cash for something I don't need, I have cards sitting here that I'm not using. Mm-hmm. Made sense to me. And, I could keep going. I could probably think up a dozen other examples of people's unwillingness to, I don't even have the words anymore. Like, it just upsets and frustrates and angers me that people just don't seem to care. You hear me complain every day about people who don't use their fucking turn signals.
Yes, I do. I don't know. Maybe even from your perspective, maybe your point of view is that I am naive.
No.
Maybe someone like you looks at the way that I look at things and people, and you think that I'm a sucker.
No.
Or I'm a pushover, or I'm a doormat or anything like that. But and it's not that I don't get pissed off, and it's not that I don't get frustrated and that I get angry, but I absolutely refuse to let someone else's poor judgment affect me in the grand scheme of things. I have worked very hard to get to the point where I can just be like, I don't care. If people are giving me poor customer service for whatever reason, right? And I've experienced that, okay? Let's go back to the pharmacy. Take a trip back to the pharmacy with me, okay? Now, I have been on this new medication since June. I've been since June. And, and I got a 90-day supply of my original dosage for $82. And I had to get a refill, so I called in a refill, and you went to go pick it up for me, and I told you, I'm sorry, it's going to be like $82, and you were like, it's $750. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that is wrong. I did research into our prescription plan. I looked for coupon codes. I did all of this stuff. I talked to my doctor. And finally, I went to the pharmacy and I said, what the fuck? And I didn't say what the fuck because I'm too nice to do that. But I told him, I said, this is outrageous. I'm like, there's no way that this works. I'm like, I have a coupon from the drug company saying that this should only be like $60. Give me my medication for $60. So they did all kinds of twiddling with the computers and everything, and they were like, okay, well, here's the deal. This coupon doesn't work because this is not a new prescription. I said, what are you talking about? It says right there that you have to already have a valid prescription for this. And they said, yes, but it can't be a refill. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, do you have any discounts that you can look up for me? And they did. And they looked up a coupon code that gave me a 90-day supply of my medication for $490. And I paid $490 and change for my 90-day supply. A week later, I had an appointment with my doctor, and I told her what happened, and she said, that is not right. There is something very wrong, and that should not have been that way. And she's like, I'm going to have it called in and tell them, that it, to code it differently, et cetera, et cetera. And I, and so, she did that because then she wanted to up my dosage. I just spent $500 on this fucking prescription and she wants to change my dosage. Fortunately, it's just twice the dosage, so at least I will use those pills.
Yeah.
I'll just use 2 at a time. But I, when I went to go fill my new dosage, I was like, I am not spending $500 on this.
That's ridiculous.
And I went to the pharmacy. I was nervous and prepared, but I'm like, this is a new prescription. My coupon should work. And they said, I'm sorry, this doesn't work. And I'm like, well, fuck me running. What can you do for me? And they twiddled with it. And they said, okay, so for a 90-day supply, it's going to be $4.90. But we found a coupon code that can give you a 30-day supply for $63. And I did everything in my power to bite my tongue because the bitch who sold me my 90 days for $500 was standing right there when they were filling my 30 days for $63. And I did everything in my power to not look her in the face and said, you owe me $400 fucking dollars. Because all she had to do was tell me that I could get a 30-day supply for $63.
And was it one of those new employees?
I was one of the techs. I don't know. But one of the pharmacists comes over and he's just like, so if you will authorize that we can change the quantity for you and everything, then we can just put this through for $63. And I'm like, yeah, I'll come back every 30 fucking days to save $400 a month.
Do you still have the receipt from the $500?
I probably.
Because if you do, you should be able to go in there if it's been less than a certain amount of days.
It was in September.
That was 2 months ago.
Yeah, it was a little less than 2 months ago.
I would fight that. I would absolutely 100% fight that.
I picked up the 90-day supply of the 72 microgram dose, and I paid $490 out of pocket, and that was with the 50% off. That's only 50%. This prescription is supposed to cost like $1,500.
That is insane.
And I'm like, that's nonsense. So I'm just like, yeah. I will come in.
No wonder we keep seeing advertisements for it on like Pluto and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, because it's helping my
big
guts.
pharma.
It is big pharma. It's the algorithm. They're listening to us right now. But I'm just like,
you can listen to the sound.
I cannot believe that this bitch did not say to me, so your 90 days is going to be $500, but you could get the 30 days of the same thing for $65.
Well, you know what? When enough people leave CVS, then they're going to have to revamp their business practices. And when enough people leave these game stores, they're going to have to revamp their business practices. And when enough people stop going to Burger King or start complaining or slash the tires of their employees, I don't fucking know, then they're going to have to change. Yeah.
And again, it's the people who complain about the service but keep going. Like, I don't understand that.
I mean, I remember having said to you before, like, I mean, you eat at Chick-fil-A all the time, but don't necessarily agree with, what their proprietor believes in. I know there's plenty of people who are adamantly against, the belief system of the owners of Chick-fil-A, but still eat there.
Yes, and those people who protest Chick-fil-A, I'm pretty sure still shop on Amazon and go to Walmart and McDonald's.
Like people, I complain about Amazon and Jeff Bezos all the time, and people still assume that I haven't bought anything off Amazon since 2015.
I buy things off of Amazon because everybody thinks that, everybody thinks that there's a workaround. Everybody thinks that, it's like, let me tell you something. You're going to be supporting a big, muckety muck one way or the other.
Hold on a second.
I may as well make it convenient to myself.
You weren't always able to be a private seller selling on Amazon.
You weren't always able to.
That used to be reserved for eBay and other online marketplaces and things like that. Mm-hmm. So when Amazon was strictly just Amazon, okay, my biggest gripe with Jeff Bezos and Amazon was the fact that the rise of Amazon contributed to the death of a lot of my favorite brick and mortar stores.
But it's not just Amazon.
I know it's not just Amazon. It's largely Amazon because Jeff Bezos is among, the top 3, top 5 richest people in the world. Like, it's not just that online selling made it so that, going to a store is becoming obsolete. It's the fact that there was no plan in place when this was all, coming about to protect that part of the industry. Because some people like going to a store and examining what they're going to buy before they buy it, having the option of looking around and tangibly, handling these things. Now, in more recent years, you have, your Amazon has, big box, stores of their own, don't they? Right? Isn't that a thing? I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't shop there.
I don't know.
But anyway, yeah, there's some instances where buying online just doesn't cut it. I like being able to go to the store, for example, to buy cards. I love to go to the store to buy packs. I don't want to get packs in the mail and open them that way. There's nothing enticing about that.
But you pre-order stuff.
I pre-order stuff to make sure that I get it. There's sometimes no guarantee that I'll be able to get it in the store, especially now that Walmart, for example, stopped selling cards.
Well, that is, for the most part, why I shop on Amazon. And I don't shop for everything on Amazon. I try and shop on Etsy, to be perfectly honest, for anything that I need. Yeah, because I am a seller, and I prefer to give my business to someone who's going to make a little money off of it.
Now we've drifted from talking about integrity to talking about hypocrisy.
But I shop on Amazon for certain things because
I'm not judging you.
Again, I'm going to line someone's pockets one way or the other.
I am not judging. I've never judged you for shopping on Amazon. We get packages from Amazon almost every day. It is my personal choice, and I don't impart that. I don't impose that on anyone. I never would. That is my decision for myself not to
Which is
partake.
Perfectly fine.
I choose to use eBay because eBay are private sellers. I sell on eBay.
But
I'm not a conglomerate.
But
what?
You do shop at Walmart.
Yeah.
And you go to McDonald's.
Okay.
Those are 2 extremely deep pockets.
Yeah.
That you are pouring money into.
So what?
Shouldn't your gripe be overall with the idea of these huge corporations? No, it's totally different.
It's strictly with Amazon.
So you going to Walmart on the regular is not akin to me buying things off of Amazon.
Walmart is not at the same level as Amazon.
What level is it at?
Again, okay. Show me where the proprietor of Amazon is in the list with Jeff Bezos.
I don't have to. You already know.
Yeah, I know Jeff Bezos is close to the top. I don't know about what's his name, I don't even know what his name is, the guy from Walmart. I go to Walmart because, first of all, it's down the street. It has most things that we need. And plus, I'm not there every day or even every week. I go there when I need a thing.
And that's when I shop at Amazon.
I go to Walmart for, socks.
I get my socks off of Amazon.
I don't want to get my socks. I want to go into the store. I want to examine the socks. I want to make sure I'm getting the right size. I don't want to have to send them back if I end up getting the wrong size. There are certain instances where you need to be able to go to the store.
I agree with you. I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that I understand your prerogative.
My prerogative is largely associated with toys, though, because of the fact that thanks to Amazon and other online retailers, we lost Toys R Us. We lost KB Toy Works. We lost,
Toys R Us still exists.
We lost
as an entity.
We lost our
as a part of
Toys R
Macy's.
Us. It is a small section of the 3rd floor of Macy's.
No. Not one Macy's location.
Okay,
it exists as an entity within Macy's, not the Macy's in the Danbury Mall. Macy's.
I'm not traveling a great distance just to go to a different Toys R Us.
Well, maybe you should.
No.
Maybe you should consider it if it means so much.
I'll shop in the toy section at Walmart.
There you go. I mean, they've got a pretty good selection.
Not to mention the fact that, Prime and having their own drivers and delivery system and all that took business away from us.
I mean, you also think about, toys in general, right? You think about overpricing and everything. Every time we go to the mall, one of our first stops is Newberry Comics. You want to talk about overpriced? Everything in that store, regardless of the variety,
figures,
regardless
comics,
of the actual the product that they sell and the quality thereof, and even the customer service here and there. Okay, everything is at least like a 30% markup higher than everywhere else. You can get that shit.
I am all for purchasing wherever the lowest price is possibly. But when we happen to be at the mall for one reason, I mean, most of the time I go to the mall and I don't spend any money except on food. Mm-hmm. I go because I like being there, because the physical building itself, it stirs up memories for me.
It stirs in you.
That's where we met.
It stirs. It is where we met. We met. Yeah, we met at the mall.
I like walking around the mall. I know people who can't stand the idea of the mall because of the crowds and the claustrophobia that comes with it. And it's just like, no, I like to just walk around and people watch.
My
son loves that now.
I don't have a problem with places like the mall. I don't have a problem with crowds. And I know that some people do, and some people don't want to be around people. And
that wasn't a shot at you.
No, though. I know. And people don't want to be touched, and they don't want to be bumped into and everything like that. I am very small. I avoid places like that for the most part, because when I am in a crowd of people, I have a clear view of their elbows and the smalls of their backs. I cannot see around people. I can't see over people. I can't, and that frustrates me. That truly frustrates me. What are you looking at me like that for?
How do you think children feel?
I know how children feel. I'm 40 and I feel that way.
But that doesn't stop children from wanting to go to the mall.
Butthole? Yeah,
God,
you know what? And when they grow up and they break 5 feet, they're probably going to feel a lot better about it than I do.
You do know that most other men...
I'm growing down. You do realize
most
that,
other
right?
men, both younger and older than me, are taller than me.
So
I get what it's like to be around people that make you feel uncomfortable.
Not unless you are constantly surrounded by people who are at least 6'5".
You are not always the shortest person in the room.
Okay. Now, if we're not counting children, right? Yeah.
You're just causing problems for yourself.
No, baby. Mm-hmm. The world has caused these problems for me.
You don't have to be in the populated areas, you know. Go hang out on the carousel. That's where nobody will bother you.
Ew, why would I want to go on the carousel?
Oh my God!
I want to go on the carousel.
I love the carousel.
Yeah, you know what I would love more about the carousel? If that person who's half-ass operating it, right?
That old lady?
Yeah, would go up onto that thing and wipe everything down after everyone uses it.
What makes you think she doesn't?
Because we've watched, babe. We watch as one crowd gets off and the next crowd just gets right back on. No one wipes that shit down.
I have not seen a crowd form at that carousel in a long time.
It's because nobody goes to the mall. They're all shopping on Amazon.
No, it's because everybody's buried in their phones instead of wanting to go on an amusement ride that lasts 2.5 minutes.
There is that too, for sure. The
fact that Henry still asks me every single time before we leave, can we hit up the carousel? And I'm just like, I can't say it. It's you want to talk overpriced. I remember when that thing was $0.25.
Yeah, well, eventually,
it's $5 now.
One of two things is going to happen. One, he's going to age out of it, and he's not going to want to go on it anymore. Or two, you're going to find the guts to say no.
Can't. Absolutely can't. First of all, I get to go on with him for free, so it's basically like 2 for $2.50. Second, I loved that thing so much when I was his age, I cannot deny him.
Yeah.
Just like if he asks me, hey, can we go to the mall? I can't say no, because first of all, I have no problem telling him no when it comes to buying him things. I
didn't say anything.
When we're at the mall, I can say no to him. Mm-hmm. But if he asks me to go, I can't say no.
Now, he's 6. Mm-hmm. How often does he ask you to go to the mall? Or does he ask you to go to the arcade?
He asks me to go to the mall.
That's remarkable.
A lot of times he wants to go to the
What does he want to do
arcade.
at the mall?
He wants to go to the arcade.
He wants to go to the arcade.
He wants to go ride the train.
Yes.
He wants to ride the carousel.
Yep.
And he likes walking around.
Well, good. Thank God, because, if he was telling you to pick him up, I'd be like, nope.
When we go to the mall...
He's taller than I was at his
We always
age.
make a round of the upstairs and the downstairs, and every single time I can count on one hand or less the amount of times he asks for something, for me to buy him something.
He doesn't have to ask, baby.
Really?
He doesn't have to ask. He knows eventually you're just going to buy him something anyway.
Please. Well, good. Then that means
He's got you
his birthday's next week. I could just be like, hey, all those gifts I got you throughout the year? Yeah, your birthday's covered.
He's got you played.
That makes me
got you wrapped around his little finger.
That makes me Father of the Year. And I'm damn proud of it.
How you doing?
I'm in pain.
Yeah, you look like you're in pain.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
If I had known it was going to be this bad, I would have just taken the bottle of hot sauce off the stove and doused myself in that.
Dog!
Ah.
She just dug her nails into me.
She wanted you to feel my pain.
I know exactly what your pain feels like.
I know. Well, did you have to rub yourself in capsaicin?
No, because I took care of myself during my illness, my downtime.
I love the Sadie side eye.
Yeah, she's made of side eye.
So for those of you who are still listening at this point, this is really what our conversations, the ones I always say never make it to air, tend to,
This is really just a day in the life.
This started off as a planned episode and just kind of turned into, like if husband and wife were arguing while we had company over. Or
you know what
like
I thought we were going to talk about?
What?
Well, we were talking about the other night that it's about when we give things to people.
When we give things.
Yeah, we were talking the other night because I showed you the skate deck that I made in 2018. I made as a gift for somebody, and it's my favorite thing that I've ever made.
He answered me back, by the way.
Oh, he did?
He did,
Did he tell you to fuck right off?
No, he says he's going to look for it.
Oh, are you serious?
He says it might be long gone, but he's actually going to try and track it down. You're welcome.
I will be fucking... I don't even know. I feel like I would have a new lease on life.
And I just became husband of the year.
If I ever... You've always been husband of the year, baby.
Well, I don't know. Saturday afternoon I wasn't.
You...
Let's tell him about that.
First of all, just to put a cap on this, let me tell you something. The fact that person even responded to you.
Oh, he wished us a happy anniversary, by the way.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now...
I didn't even have to tell him who that was.
I'm not even kidding you. I'm shook right now. I'm shook. Because this person was not permitted to interact with me. Because he did something stupid and was punished for it.
For context, this person's in possession, or was in possession, of a skate deck that my wife spent, 92 hours painting?
92 hours it took me.
Yeah.
And it is one of the most extraordinary things I have ever made.
And because I'm so good at finding things, or getting things...
And you
said,
you reached out, and you sent what to me sounded... It sounded like one of the most threatening things I've ever heard.
Oh,
you are in possession of something that might be I may be interested in.
No.
What did you say?
You may be in possession of something that I want.
Yeah.
I'm ready to negotiate if you are.
And I mean, the fact that he even got back to you says to me, perhaps he's changed.
He even
Perhaps
said
he's grown up a little bit.
He said I wouldn't have to compensate him. But, if negotiations change towards the completion of this deal, I may have to bring along some cement shoes.
Sir, if you're listening to this by some freaking weird miracle, if you have it, will you stop it?
She's talking to me, not you.
If you have it, I appreciate it because for what it means to me, I do want it back. And I wanted it back 6 years ago. But I didn't ask for it.
You live and you learn.
And I have wanted it ever since. And I have regretted. I don't regret a lot of things, but I have regretted not just asking for it back. Because I don't do that. I don't ask for things back. And I don't expect things back either. Now, I have been on the other side of that where my stuff is just gone. I've ended relationships and friendships and moved and stuff like that. And things have just gone. There are things that have probably ended up in dumpsters. In other states, you know, and I guess I sort of assume the worst. I assume the worst in certain situations.
Like you just did.
Like I just did. And let me tell you, I learned my lesson.
That remains.
I am, you know what I'm happy about? You know what pleases me?
Me.
Well, you do. I am pleased to still be able to be surprised by people. It's nice. It's nice. And this is what I'm talking about, is that I wanted to hang on to the idea that he was just another dickbag who fucked me over and, you know, and got what he wanted and took more than he deserved and everything. And it turns out that he's not.
You know,
I am wrong, and I'm sorry.
Amidst this, we had a conversation on Saturday about exes where we were like, oh, this is one of those ones that should have made it to air. And you and I were just going back and forth like we tend to do from time to time.
We do, yeah.
You know.
Not that it's a competition.
It's not a competition. But it's very, very upsetting and sad and unfortunate that, you know, we have these awful memories of exes who've done things that are, you know, so... that have such impact that they're impossible to forget.
Yeah.
And, you know, but, I mean...
You think in time we'll just start forgetting?
I know that there are a lot of things that I've long forgotten. Like, just the other night, you know, you said to me, I don't want to, you know, stir up anything. I don't want you to have to... Because I said if we keep talking about this, eventually things are going to come to mind.
Yeah.
And then I started eventually repeating them, and I'm like, you made me think of this, and you made me think of that. The reason we don't have those conversations on the regular is because I don't want to remember. I don't want to think about them. Yeah. I don't want to think about the things they did, the things they said, the ways they made me feel.
Yeah.
You and
I get that.
We are right where we're supposed to be.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Mm-hmm. For the record, let the record show. But for the record, my question for you. Mm-hmm. Did you, in fact... try to acquire this skate deck for me to make up for what you did on Saturday?
No. I don't think there's anything to make up for.
You don't think there's anything to make up for?
I don't think there's anything to make up for.
I think it's time to tell the story.
Well, you get it started.
The end. The finale. The grand finale of our vacation and anniversary week. I planned a very big surprise. I rented out Bank Street Theater, the little local movie theater down the street from us. I rented it out.
You booked it.
With the intention of watching a movie that is very dear to my husband's heart and very dear to me to be able to share it with him because... it is, to me, one of the most romantic movies. And it's the original Crow with Brandon Lee from 1994.
My favorite movie of all time.
My husband's favorite movie of all time. And I was going to surprise him with it. And in planning this, I had invited friends to watch it with us. And most of them couldn't make it, which is fine. And I said, you know what? Fine. If it ends up being just the two of us... so be it. then the two of us will watch this movie together, and we will hold hands, and we will make out in the back row, and it'll be great.
See, if it had been the two of us, I wouldn't have done what I did. Mm-hmm. No way I would have done what I did.
Well, in getting ready for this surprise, I checked the DVD, because I had to bring a DVD with me, and I checked the DVD that we have in the house, but it was smudged, and I worried about it. I worried that it would skip. I worried, that it would, that it wouldn't play, that there would be hiccups. So they told me, well, we play DVDs and Blu-rays, whatever you bring, we can play. I said, great. So I ordered a brand spanking new copy, 4K HD, and turns out they couldn't play it. So the four of us now are sitting in the theater waiting for the movie to start. The movie won't play. The girl comes out, she goes, I'm so sorry, but, so it won't play. Well, we only live 2 minutes away, so my husband says, should I just go get it? And I said, maybe you should. And they said, well, we don't really give a shit. Go ahead, we'll wait for you. Well, my husband went home and got it.
I did get it.
Yep, and brought it back to the theater. And hands the DVD off, hands it off to the girl to bring it into the projection room. He's making a face like Stan Laurel right now, like he's just so witty. And
I was scratching.
No,
you really wanted to say Stan Laurel,
You're
didn't
making
you?
this face at me. And my husband hands off the DVD to this chick who takes it into the projection room. He comes and he sits back down.
If only they could see your face right now.
Yeah. I think they can hear my face and my voice right now.
That's just because she's licking your foot.
My husband gave them a DVD of Freddy Got Fingered. Now,
Tell them why.
Because I hate it.
Nope. Tell them why. Tell them exactly why.
I wish I knew why, dear. I really do. I really wish I knew why.
Tell them why I picked that out of anything else that I could have brought.
Because I told you it was the most retarded movie I've ever seen in my life.
But how did it get brought up in conversation?
It was
We were talking about movies.
We were talking about movies, and you mentioned that we watched it, and I said, yes, you subjected me to it. How did it get brought up? What was the organic nature of how it got brought up?
We were talking about movies we'd seen in theaters, and
Right.
one thing led to another, and it got mentioned.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh man, that would be funny to see in the theater.
And I made a comment about how I had to sit through this movie. You made me watch it.
Nobody made you sit through it. Just like how you're always telling me, nobody makes me do anything. You don't make me do anything. You don't make me watch anything you want to watch. No, you are not pinning that on me. You could have got up. You probably looked at your phone half of the time. Nobody made you
certainly
watch.
did.
And
Until Saturday.
nobody made you laugh except the movie.
The movie did not make me laugh.
You were laughing.
There were... Okay.
You were laughing.
I'm really gonna upset you here.
Okay.
There are, like, 3 moments of that movie that I find funny, and the rest of it, anytime that I laughed, I was faking it so that our friends wouldn't feel uncomfortable because I was so pissed off.
They weren't uncomfortable.
They
They were having a good time, as was I.
I was so fucking angry. I was so angry because, and only because, and even later that night, you had said, quote, I know it meant a lot to you
When I apologized.
to watch this movie in the theater, to end our anniversary with it. And despite knowing how much it meant to me, you still thought that it was worth more to get a little laugh.
I did
That
something.
really upset me.
First of all, you're smiling right now. I did something that obviously made the 4 of us laugh and have a good time. And it's like, and listen, as much as I love The Crow as a movie, acting, composition, storytelling, everything, okay? If I had to choose between watching a very dark, romantic, story about murder and revenge and,
And love.
Versus something that is laugh out loud funny, I'm sorry, but I'm going to choose comedy every time.
Yes, I know you will.
Like, you don't invite your friends to the movies to see a dark romance.
That's exactly what they were invited to do. They knew what movie we were going to watch.
Everything happens for a reason, right?
It sure does.
Yeah, well, the universe was trying to tell you something. And obviously trying to tell me something.
Obviously it told me that I was doing it wrong. And I'm glad that you corrected my mistake.
I didn't say it was a mistake. This took a really dark turn. You. There's still time to go see it in the theater. I then insisted that you take a walk with me along the downtown area, and what did we find in said walk?
We found the teddy bear bank that I had when I was a kid.
And would you have found that had I not suggested that walk? Would you have gone on your own effort to browse the downtown shops and
alone? No.
Exactly.
Why would I go alone?
Would you have ever suggested to me that we go for a walk down Bank Street?
I don't know.
Nope.
Only time would tell.
It was my doing that brought you just a little piece of your childhood back.
Well, thanks. Appreciate you. I've already said thank you.
I paid for that, too.
And what did I pay for?
Our 3rd anniversary tattoos.
Yes. Something that you made a little joke.
What joke did I make about that?
We're walking around and you should say, and what did we do? We passed that tattoo shop and you said, want to go get tattooed? And I said, yeah, we should.
That wasn't a little joke. That was like,
That is the same thing that happens when you say things. When we got married in 2022, and I said, what do you want for this wedding? And you said 4 clowns. You made a little joke. And I had everybody be clowns for you. They all wore clown noses. And then you've been saying since the day after our wedding, you said, we should get married again. So what did I do? I planned a surprise second wedding for last week. We've only been remarried for a week.
All right. The burn is going down. My shirt is going back on.
Remarkable.
I need to be able to rub this.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's really what you need to be able to do. And then
soft shirt.
And what do you think is the best part that came out of this whole thing? Is your fucking back scratcher.
Oh, yeah.
Your goddamn back scratcher.
Which I can't fully use.
But he found it. He found a telescoping back scratcher.
I found telescoping fly swatters, too.
We did find telescoping fly swatters, yes. And they had telescoping barbecue forks. We found a whole bunch of stuff that telescopes. Apparently, that's what the gift shoppy business is based on. Crazy. But we got tattooed, and to commemorate that this is now 3 years together, and 3 years of nonsense and wisecracking and wiseacring and
I love you.
And I love you. And I love you.
But we're going to wrap this up now because I'm in a lot of pain and I need to recline.
All right.
Surprisingly, that's the only thing that gives me any sort of like full relief.
Oh boy, but thank you for listening to this extra special double dose of That Talking Podcast. We went over a lot of stuff today. Ooh boy.
When you hear this, it'll probably be election day.
Oh, it will be.
And
it will be.
We look forward to it being over.
Oh, God. I look forward to it being over more than anything. I'm so fucking sick of these people. I'm sick of the commercials, the YouTube ads, the fucking text messages, the mail, the direct mailers. Oh, God. Seriously. Who fucking cares at this point? Vote for whoever spent the least on postage.
Ralph Wiggum.
God damn, yes. Kodos for president. Here we go. But yes, thank you for listening to That Talking Podcast. This has been super special.
I'm
coming to it.
Yeah.
So, next week, soon, a week and a half, November 15th, 16th, and 17th, the Westchester Tattoo Con, New York Blood and Ink Tattoo and Horror Expo at the Westchester County Center in White Plains, New York. Be there, be square, be both, be neither. I don't care. Show up and buy my shit. It is going to be so much fun. I am looking forward to it. Sadie's going to be there too, so who knows? Maybe we'll do an extra special episode direct to you from the convention. That depends on if my husband can let go of his side long enough.
Oh, my side.
My side.
If anybody feels like making the trek to Providence this weekend, Saturday, at I think it's 103 Dyke Street. I can't remember the name of the venue, but
it's on Dyke Street.
The tax collectors and the harlots will be performing somewhere around 9:00, I think. So I go back to work today after this, break from work with the shingles, and boss is just like, "Yep, you're getting forced in on your holiday." I'm like, "Thanks a lot." So I'm gonna have to haul ass at work Saturday and then trek to Providence. Yeah, I can't even talk. I'm
trekking
so much
out to
fucking pain. My skin is on fire.
But do that. That's this Saturday, November 9th. The
I'll
tattoo
leave the
convention.
capsaicin at home.
Yeah, so this weekend, this Saturday, Tax Collectors and Harlots in Providence, Rhode Island, and next week, Find Love Hard at the Westchester Tattoo Con. Find us on social media, DT Andy and JJ Star with 2 R's on Instagram. And thank you, Andy, for our theme song, The Guide.
Thank you for the, how far along are we?
How far along are we what?
Are we like 6 months in? Are we 9
we're
months
more
in?
than, we've been doing this since, we've been doing this almost 7 months now.
So thank you for getting this off the ground.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your
This was all your idea.
Well, it was.
I'm giving credit where credit's due.
Appreciate ya. And, Sadie, you got anything to plug?
Big shout-outs to Nick and Eric and all our regular listeners. And
yes, thank you. Thank you. Tell all your friends, pass it on. We don't want to go to work anymore. After this week off from work, it was hard to go back to work.
Yeah.
So, if only we could stay home and do this every day. Every day. What? No. But again, thank you. We will see you soon. And from the three of us here at the Talking Podcast, I'm JJ Star.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
And we will talk to you later.